Happy Taco Tuesday! How is everyone doing today? Hopefully, y'all are staying nice and cool. I'm actually considering about moving to Alaska or maybe Antarctica if I am allowed to. It is, blistering hot where I'm at, not to mention the humidity is out of control. Last week, it got pretty much burnt like a very deep-fried lobster. And my face was, it was a little fugly. Wasn't really looking very too good. Can playing RuneScape make you dumb? That is going to be the topic of today's video, not to mention the podcast style video that is here. If you could do me a big favor and smash the like button, it is completely free. If you want to subscribe for future content, definitely hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. If you want to see more of these podcast-style videos, this playlist is going to be the top pinned comment. Been doing these videos, or rather I should say these longer-style videos now for over 10 months, and it's been going pretty good. Yeah, so if you are new here, much love and much appreciation, welcome. You have a lot of content to watch while you're definitely playing RuneScape, but let's go ahead and dive into this one. And before I start, I will say that I am going to be doing chapters in this video as well. I don't normally do chapters, although I may actually start doing them. A lot of you all have told me before that chapters are nice, especially if you come back to a video from watching it. Or you just want to see, or you want to just skip to one portion of like the video and stuff. Because today we have actually quite a bit of topics to discuss. One, can RuneScape make you dumb? Can playing this game actually make you a little doomer? It's a little dumber, I should say. And I want to talk a little bit about that. And then I want to dive into a publication that I actually found, which is a little scary, and it's very much factual. The impact of artificial intelligence, I can't talk today, chatbots on cognitive health. I want to dive into this, and then I also want to go back in time and go over a couple videos of mine that is very much relatable to pretty much can RuneScape actually make you a little wee-womp in a way. And then I want to go ahead and wrap up this podcast episode and talk about Dragon Claws a little bit, because a lot of people were asking me what my game plan for Dragon Claws, because it is a really highly volatile thing to have on this game. I paid 62 million GP. I made a new PKing video with them a couple days ago, and I was actually complaining about how they went down in value. And surprisingly, the last couple days, they're actually up in value. Maybe I should complain about things going down in value definitely more, and may actually work out in my favor with some burps. So we have a lot of stuff to cover in today's podcast episode. Like I said, if you do enjoy this content, definitely let me know. Smash the like button, and tell me where you are listening to these episodes. I get messages all the time from people telling me that I suck at agility because I just fell off the damn rooftop here. What the hell, man? Not to mention, yeah, if I fell off a rooftop, like in real life, a one-story building, pretty sure that I'm going to be going to the hospital. It's not the movies. Falling off a 8 to maybe 12-foot jump, depending where you land. If you don't land on your side, aka you're kind of like your hamstring in a way, you could definitely bust an ankle. Probably most likely fracture something. But, okay, RuneScape, playing this game, can it make you dumber? Yes and no. I actually talked about this a lot many years ago, which is the reason why I want to cover some Black Ops videos that I pretty much made a very long time ago. But, so, if you do the same thing on this game, which is not really hard. If you go ahead and run around in a circle 100 times, and then you do it every day for 200 times, and then you do it every day for 300 times, and you go ahead and get 99 agility, what you're going to notice is that, like, your level of hard playing RuneScape is really capped at, like, running around in circles. What I mean by that, or rather picture that in real life, let's go ahead and say that you go ahead and do strength training. You do some bicep curls with, let's say, like 20 pounds. And you are more than capable of doing bicep curls of 30, 35 pounds. But you're only doing 20. Well, you're going to train your body to only do 20 pounds instead of doing 35 and then slowly increasing to 40 over the next several amount of weeks. So, therefore, if you just do something very easy as running around in a circle for, let's say, 3 months, 90 days, your brain is going to be trained to be doing just clicking. Because all I'm doing is literally clicking. I'm just clicking. And yes, I am a lefty. Yes, I am a freak in nature. Maybe that's the reason why I can't PK, is because I hold a mouse in my left hand. I actually talked about that in a video like a couple years ago, and a lot of you all commented saying, no wonder why you suck at PKing, because I guess you're not supposed to be using, like, you're supposed to be using F keys, and I can't use F keys because my hand is on the other side of the key, of the key. It makes sense why I suck at PKing. Okay, so back to what I was saying. If you go ahead and do agility for 3 months and you get 99, every day you run around in a circle. All you're doing is clicking a mouse, right? You could be watching a movie, you could be watching a TV show, you could be beating your chicken. I'm not talking about an actual chicken, I'm talking about a body part. But you could be doing anything, right? If you go ahead and play Call of Duty or any first-person shooter, you're going to get annihilated. You are going to get pulverized. You are going to get beat up. It is not going to be a good time for you. It is going to be a very bad time for you. It's going to be the worst time ever. It is going to be pretty damn funny, I'm not going to lie. And years ago, when I started to actually make Call of Duty content, primarily Black Ops Nazi Zombies, I noticed that whenever I would grind RuneScape for, like, well beyond a couple months without playing any other video game, primarily a first-person shooter, I would go back to a first-person shooter game and I would suck balls. When I say suck balls, I mean, like, Randy Marsh, Buffalo Soldier, gigantic, like, testicles. If you've seen the South Park episode, you know what I'm talking about. If you have not, I can't really show a picture because it involves some testicles. But yes, just picture, like, a gigantic amount of balls that you suck. It's not going to be good. And what ends up happening is you train your brain to go to a level of maximum capability. And once you reach that threshold, it is the equivalent of training your body to only lift 20 pounds when you are more than capable of pushing yourself to 30, 35, maybe even 40. And a lot of people do this every single day, whether it's at the gym, whether it is based on playing a video game, whether it is based on dietary habits, whether it is based on just anything. It's very much relatable to every aspect of your life. And it's really remarkably funny how I have noticed that if I play RuneScape for a very long time, my other video games that I play will actually suffer. Now, does that mean that RuneScape is making me dumb? Well, what is your definition of dumb? Because here's the catch-22. This publication right here, which I'm going to leave down below in the description if you want to actually read the entire thing, it's actually a really good thing to dive into. I'm not going to spend the entire time actually going over like it's way too long to dissect. But from the title, pretty much correlates with this publication, and is the impact of artificial intelligence that is basically affecting our mental behavior in the sense that it is theoretically making us lazy in different aspects. Yes, AI is probably most likely going to kill us someday. I do believe that. But at the same time, it is going to make our life significantly easier. And it already primarily pretty much has for a lot of people. However, I will say this though. Over the course of my life, I have noticed that my spelling has definitely declined over the years of using auto-correcting capabilities. And what I mean by that is that if I'm gonna be sending a long text message, I'm not gonna be giving really two hoots if I type too quickly and I misspell a word, because I know that my phone is gonna do a lot of auto-correcting, and it does make you lazy in the aspect that you really don't have to care so much about like grammar. Not to mention, last year, when I was actually writing a novel, shout out to Vito on Amazon. If you want to see more of or I should say, read more of NightmareRH, you definitely check out my book on Amazon. And I can go ahead and tell you by typing 383 pages. Theoretically, it was like 185 in a Word document. But still, in a Microsoft Word document, 185 pages, I heavily relied on the AI by Microsoft Word. By 2022, I believe, is the model I was using, or 2021, 2022. It doesn't matter. I really wasn't concerned about, like, not typing effectively. Just really, you know, whatever I was thinking, I was really just typing very quickly. And it's no longer like days where you're using a typewriter and you actually had to take the time and slow down and be like, okay, I don't have autocorrect. I don't have AI to look at my grammar. I gotta actually slow my typing down, and I gotta actually take the time to self-check myself, because if I fuck up by using a typewriter, well, oh man, I can probably tell you that I probably most likely would have killed a lot of trees last year if I actually did have to use a typewriter. The amount of paper that I probably would have gone through would have been crazy. I cannot imagine writing a novel like 100 years ago without technology. It must have taken people so long. It took me roughly around 5.5 months. And there were times where I would be on like a super binge of just like typing away. And maybe within about like 2.5 hours, I ended up typing up like 10 pages worth of like my story. And then I got done with a chapter and I'm like, okay, I know that I got like a bunch of punctuation like issues. I got to fix some grammar. Let me go back and, you know, fix it and see what like the AI or the autocorrect is telling me. I wasn't concerned with actual, like, proper grammar and proper spelling at the time. All I wanted to do was just get my information out of my head onto, like, a computer page, aka a piece of paper, a digital piece of paper as quickly as possible. So, yes, artificial intelligence, these chatbots are making our lives significantly easier, but they are also declining our, like, I want to say, self-checking awareness. Now, there's a lot of arguments out there saying, well, Nightmare, you wrote a novel in 5.5 months. Imagine if the AI wasn't there. How long would it have taken me to actually do that? It would have probably taken me a lot longer than 5.5 months. Maybe maybe like 9 months. I honestly really don't know. That's really a hypothetical situation, but it would have taken me longer than 5.5 months. So the moral of the story is that if you relate this to RuneScape, does doing something like running around in a circle on this game decline our gaming capability on a harder level of a game like Call of Duty? Because on Call of Duty and on a first-person shooter here, where I gotta actually use a controller and I'm not running around in a circle, I gotta actually zoom in. Is it going to actually make my zombie slaying and also player versus player skills decline? Yes, it's going to. And it's pretty funny because I actually talked about it in this video that was uploaded on my IRL channel, the NightmareRH. Oh man, back in July 12th, 2011. That is almost 17 years ago. That is utterly unreal. Not to mention this video, March 9, 2013, I was pretty much venting like crazy because Nazi zombies were kicking my ass. And normally, like, so if I go ahead and play Call of Duty, whether it is multiplayer or whether it is just zombie slaying, if I go ahead and do Call of Duty for 1 month straight, my Call of Duty skills go up, and I find that I actually grow less patience on RuneScape. It's actually pretty funny. And if you want to challenge yourself, I highly recommend anyone out there pick a video game where it's very much like intensified, like any type of Call of Duty games, or maybe you got like other games like Diablo or even like World of Warcraft, and then go do something like running around on a circle on rooftops on old school RuneScape. You're going to see that by running around on circles, you're going to notice that you become a lot more impatient, which means it's going to frustrate you. It's going to make you very antsy, and you're just not going to want to do it. You're going to want to do something action-packed on RuneScape other than just running around in damn circles. It's actually really remarkable. So, to go back to the beginning of this episode, do I believe that playing RuneScape makes you dumber? What is your definition of dumb? Because if your definition of dumb is that you decline in cognitive, oh man, I can't talk today. Cognitive, I really can't talk today. You decline in the cognitive negative health. Oh man. Oh, I gotta stop running around on circles on this game. It's making my brain have poopsie doopsie little moments. Yes, I'm already suffering. My brain's becoming dumb because I'm running around on circles right now. I need to go and do more Slayer. Yes, I do believe that long-term running around in circles, you will find yourself on a decline. I'm already in the middle of typing up my second novel right now, and I can go ahead and tell you that I'm actually very much in a flow of writing. What I mean by a flow of writing is that when I sit down and I go ahead and have all these things that I need to get on paper as quickly as possible because I've thought about something and I need to flow. I'm not caring and I'm not looking at the spelling, the grammar, and then I'll go back and fix everything. I just need to get stuff out of my brain onto paper. Once again, take away the technology. Can I do that? No. A typewriter, you cannot do that. Okay? It's not going to go well. Authors years ago, people like Mark Twain, people like, I believe Stephen King wrote his first novel, Carrie, actually on a typewriter. almost positive Stephen King has done novels, but the point is that technology definitely has made me decline in that aspect of my life. Yes, I actually, I'm in the middle of doing Resident Evil 4 remake on another go around, and I'm noticing like my Resident Evil 4 gameplay does decline if I don't do first person shooters in a while. It takes me a while to really zoom in. It takes me a while to change weapons, and it just takes me a while to adjust to the game. So, do I believe that playing this game and doing something very simple is going to make you dumb? Yeah, 100%. I've noticed it in many, many aspects. Do I believe that artificial intelligence is declining our health? I do. Just like how I outlined how writing a novel in using technology to help you, it does decline you. Now, are there upsides to it? Absolutely. What is an upside about running around in a circle on this game? Well, I'm going to eventually get 99 agility. We're getting closer to max cape. Woohoo! What is a upside to using Google Gemini, Chat GBT? It makes your life easier. What is the upside to using AI auto-correcting, fixing grammar error, punctuation errors when you are a author? It makes it easier so you can spend more time writing novels. What would you rather have in your life? A decline a little bit in your like mental health, I want to say, when it comes to being able to have like very quick spelling aspects? Or would you like to produce a lot more novels and also get a bunch of more 99s on this game? It makes me laugh because I remember getting into arguments. Oh man, I got into a bad argument. I actually thought I was going to get into a fight in the second grade. I probably most likely would have got my ass whooped because the person I got into an argument with was pretty much twice my size. Although I actually stood my ground, and I'll stand my ground. I think at the time I was maybe like 7 or 8, so about 29, 30 years ago. I'll stand my ground 29, 30 years later. In the second grade, one of my vivid memories was that we had to memorize all 50 states in America. What the hell am I going to utilize that for in the future? Now, yes, I will say, memorizing 50 states, the point of the exercise is that it makes your brain smarter for memorizing certain things. Now, memorizing the 50 states in America, what is it going to do for you? Nothing. But what does that do for your brain? It actually makes your brain stronger, and it makes your brain have better critical thinking capabilities. I absolutely suck when it comes to math. I never have been a mathematician. I'm definitely a aerial learner type of human being. Very much hands-on. I can go ahead and do presentations all day long. That's really my specialty. But when it comes to like memorizing stuff, it's useless because my brain sees it and I'm like, what the hell do I need to memorize this for? I can actually work on something that is going to benefit my life in a way. So the argument that I got into was that it was absolutely useless. And of course, the damn kid that I got into the argument with, obviously could memorize all 50 states. But I really wish that teachers would actually market that better to say, hey, this is a critical thinking learning experience that is going to make your brain smarter. By all means, knowing the 50 states of America, I'm not entirely sure how you can monetize something like that unless somehow you come up with a business model that makes you money based on memorization. I mean, there's probably services out there, maybe. I'm not entirely sure. But as for critical thinking, yes, critical thinking is very important. What have I done for critical thinking, and what is something that is actually very big in the military, especially in the infantry, is Kim's games. If you have never heard what a Kim's game is, it's basically where you have like 20 or more items and you show it to a group of people and then you cover it with a blanket and you make people memorize all the objects there, and then you go ahead and uncover it and then you quiz people on those items. It's a very effective way to actually train people, especially for combat situations, which is why the military uses those style of training. And it also makes you very much smarter in the sense of memorization and critical skills thinking. I would actually go further, and what I used to do is lay down 30 items, make people look at it for about 120 seconds, cover it, and then I would take people on a very fast-paced run, do a bunch of exercises, get people's blood pressure, heart rates significantly elevated, make people start sweating, and then I would uncover the items, make people try to recite them. And if they were wrong, well, guess what? We're going to do some more running and some more squats. That is actually a very well tool to train your brain. But back to the beginning portion of what I was saying about like the bicep curls. If you train your brain or rather train your body to only do 20 pounds, that's all your body is going to be capable of. And even though you may be able to go to 30, 35, 40, eventually your threshold is only going to be 20 pounds. So you always got to keep like moving up and stuff. So in Notion, if I go ahead and do 3 months of running around in circles on this game, I am going to get fucked directly in the poop chute by Call of Duty Nazi zombies. Because if I go ahead and do 3 months of running around in circles and then log on to Black Ops 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, have not played number 6 just yet, although I hear the Nazi zombies are bangers, I am going to get my bum handed to me. And it's actually going to be pretty cool. I should actually make a video. Okay. Oh, yes. Let's go ahead and move into the last portion of this episode. And I don't actually know if I am probably going to add some chapters. They may be very, very well messed up. Do people really like chapters? I mean, on a Joe Rogan podcast, he's never used chapters, I believe. I'm almost positive, although I could be wrong. But a lot of people really do like having chapters and stuff. And I really don't mind adding them. But if you're going to be watching or listening a video for like 30 or 40 minutes, I don't really think it plays in. If I was making like a guide video, then I can really much more see how chapters would be good. Especially if you want to like skip back and forth in a way. I don't know. I'll think about something and add stuff in. Okay, so these things have actually not been going how I was going to be planning them. 61 million GP. I ended up paying 62.3 million GP. So already down a little bit. Now, if we go ahead and notice on the chart here, obviously back in 2017, very, very much GP, and then supply and demand basically pretty much happened. They have always been, like, not really less than 50 mil in a way. Clearly, a year ago, they were obviously more so double in price. But on a 3-month span, I mean, 69 mil, big dip down, a little bit up. This is definitely a video game, but believe it or not, you can actually take this game a little seriously and invest in items, depending on updates and depending on time of seasons, definitely. It is really annoying how whenever you tend to buy stuff on this game, it seems to just always go down in value, which is just really against how this game used to really be made. My whole philosophy is buy an item, and it doesn't matter what price it goes down to, as long as you are using that item, then it doesn't really matter. And I mean, that's like what a lot of people, the same ideology, philosophy, really pretty much is. But at the same time, it really is annoying if you buy something for close to 100 mil, and then, like, you do a bank video where you actually look at the value, and it's like, wait a second, what the hell? My third age items right now that I actually bought for an investment is garbage. Oh yeah, they took up. They fell off a damn cliff like. They're going out of business. Not doing well at all. But ever since EOC, or rather even I want to say, actually no, it was EOC. It definitely was EOC that changed this game entirely. Back in 2006, when I first started to accumulate a lot of items, I was buying items because I had so much GP, well beyond 100 million GP cash stack. I said to myself, I'm like, you know, maybe I should buy some items. I should look like some bling bling in a way. I got to be spending some of my cash, man. And I started buying a lot of items, such as Dragon Chain Body, 16.5 mil, Abyssal Whip, Dragon Plate Legs, Full Infinity Robes was 15 mil, and this was like back in 2006 and 7. Over 100 million GP went a long ways, but the price of an item wasn't going to nosedive off a cliff or just continuously drop in value. Supply and demand obviously is on this game, driving factors. There's a ton of people doing more bossing, which adds more Dragon Claws to the game, which makes them go down. The old school RuneScape team, though, definitely does do a lot of really good updates where you have items being used to make upgraded items. Bandos turns into Torva, aka, which is why Bandos armor maintains its value. And the old school RuneScape team has really learned from RuneScape 3 errors. Because RuneScape 3 errors consists of, hey, we're going to add new armor and new weapons to the game. Well, guess what happens? The old armor that people paid a fortune for, it just fell off a cliff. And we're going to completely change everything, and it's gone. It falls off a cliff like crazy. So, old school RuneScape team really does do a good job on keeping a lot of values, a lot of items very well in tune with their value. Now, what are my plans for Dragon Claws? Probably going to be making another PKing video with them, doing like a deep wilderness PK in a way. And then I'm probably just going to likely get rid of them and take my money back. But, I mean, it definitely does, like, it is a little nerve-wracking. Because now it forces me to poop out some content using them very quickly. Otherwise, I could see a gigantic decline by, like, a couple more mil. And hypothetically, if these things go down by 10%, that's like 6 million GP. And it's like, what the hell, man? Like, That's like, if I'm making about like 1.5 mil a day on this game, that is like 4 days just gone. It sucks. Okay. We really talked about a lot of things in this episode, and I hope that a lot of you found value in various topics that we covered. I really do think the moral of the story is that the more that we use AI, the more sacrifice we're going to have to give up. And especially if we do something very easy on a game like RuneScape, other critical thinking games such as Call of Duty, maybe like Diablo, just any other first-person shooter game where you got to kind of use your brain in a way, your game proficiency is really going to go down. But, hey, do what makes you happy. If you find running around in circles for 3 months, if that makes you happy, go for it. If using ChatGPT and Google Gemini all the time is making you happy, go for it. Do what makes you happy in life, as long as you're not, like, really, I want to say, killing your body. Ugh. Is AI going to kill our bodies? Probably someday. Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right, to wrap everything up on this episode, if any of you all know anyone out there that is suffering with any type of kidney issues, health issues, definitely point them to some really good people. You can definitely point them to my playlist. For anyone that does not know, and especially for anyone new that has made it to this far into the episode, I have a rare type of kidney disease where it involves cysts that grow. Although the cysts don't seem to be growing anymore, which is amazing. I was literally eating way too much sugar, but now the sugar's gone, and, well, they're not getting bigger. So if you know anyone out there with polycystic kidney disease, definitely point them in this direction or any type of direction about dietary management using a low-carb ketogenic diet or a carnivore-style diet, because that can definitely save their kidneys and save their life. I'll see you guys probably most likely Thursday with a new episode, or probably most likely a new PKing video. Otherwise, take it easy. Love ya.